Right, hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on the banks of Village Pool and we're going to be fishing for silvers on the pole. So it's 4:30 on a Saturday afternoon when you join me on the bank. It's only going to be a short vlog this one, but hopefully we can get one or two fish on the bank. So the vlog that we're making this evening is one that I've been dying to get out and make for a while. Now if you're on Facebook you will have not been able to avoid this bait, Fjuka baits, and they're all over the internet at the moment. And one video that I did watch recently was where somebody used this on a natural venue in conjunction with hemp seed to catch roach. So as regular followers of the channel will know, I'm a great lover of using hemp, whether I'm fishing for carp, still waters, rivers, lakes, canals. Hemp is a bait I've got ultimate confidence in, and the words Cheshire particle hemp are in most videos. But one thing I don't really do, and a lot of guys do leave in the comments below, when they're watching the videos they're saying them fish are on the hemp and I'm fishing maggot. So what I'm looking for is a bait that if it does work, you know, carrying this with me, if it works, would be easy to carry in my box. And them sessions where I'm fishing, you know, with hemp and maggot, and I know the fish are on the hemp, how easy would that be just to carry in my box? As you guys know, there are one or two companies that do sponsor the channel, and this is not a sponsored video. It's a video that I've been wanting to make for a while, and I'm intrigued as much as anybody to see if it works. So let's get on the box and see how we do. So looking at the side tray, nice and simple. I've literally brought no maggots with me, so there's no distractions at all. We're purely going to be feeding Cheshire particle hemp. I've brought some tares with me as well, and we've got the Fjuka baits. Now looking at them, they're a nice size to go on the hook. They are very soft, like that. If you look at it, really soft. So how well they're going to stay on the hook remains to be seen. But yeah, nice simple side tray. Because I know this is a venue where the fish do like to come up in the water, I'm going to be feeding purely by the pole cup. Got green drenning elastic down to a 4x12 Preston float, and I've got evenly strung Dinsmore shot, and that is down to a size 14 hook. Looking at the swim, I'm literally going to be lining up with that dark water and fishing round about here. Not too far out. I know these fish will come close in. You can see there's plenty topping. It's a venue with plenty of fish in. Just like on a river in winter when you're on them dace and on them proper roach, there's a lot of fish there. So that is kind of what I'm trying to replicate. So it's 4:30. You can say we've got about 4 hours fishing. Let's make a start. So I'm not going to be feeding any of the baits into the swim. Purely just going to be feeding that Cheshire particle hemp. And I've hooked it just like you can see on screen now. Nothing special. I've not buried it like you would a caster or anything like that. I've literally just put that size 14 hook straight through the bait, using the pole cup for accuracy really. You know, you could fish the whip, but the bait kind of goes all over the place, and I want to keep them fish in them lower layers of the water. It's going straight over where I fed that hemp, and I'm going to try and refrain from feeding by hand at all. Just want to keep feeding with that pole cup so it's nice and accurately. So in the third time of laying it in, you can see there the float's buried, and well, into a nice quality fish. I was hoping to come on here obviously and, you know, catch roach, and I haven't really set up any more sections of pole. We've hit into a decent fish on the first cast, which I think is going to be a bream. You know, obviously on these sessions I do think about them before I come on them, you know, the positives and the negatives of possibly using a bait. The positive obviously will be for me is using it on a river, like I said at the start. You know, if I can carry it in my box and I've not got to mess about with tares, then it'd be great in the winter months just to have there. But I must admit, one concern I did have was on natural venues where there's carp and stuff like that, that if it is a more pellet based bait, that it might not be as selective for the silvers as say a tare would be. You know, with tares you're confident that, you know, you're probably going to catch roach and that, whereas when you start moving into the pellet vein, then obviously like you can see there, the first cast we've hooked into one of these bream. So his first cast go, not a bad start, eh? Feeding that little bit of hemp, a few missed bites and then the float buried. Not going to keep him out too long, like I say, it's only a short session. We won't be putting him in the keep net. Let's get him straight back and let's get back out there. So like you have saw on recent videos, there are quite a few fish in this venue, and I have done a few vlogs on this peg. And it's why I've chose this venue today, and that's the first silver of the session. And they do have a tendency to come up in the water, so that is why I've chosen just to feed hemp today. One thing I am going to do is be really positive. You know, I'm going to be feeding a full pot of hemp every put in, nice and accurately, just dropping that rig in. You know, there's plenty of fish in here, plenty of mouths to feed, and I'm hoping to get quite a few bites this evening in the short session that we're fishing. One thing's apparent already, you know, feeding that hemp and putting the bait over the top, they definitely can catch fish using the bait. You know, it's black and it matches the hemp. So, initial signs there, you know, a bream, 2 roach. It's not a bait that the fish are not going to eat. So now I know we can get bites on it. Obviously we've had 1 or 2 fish. The other question that I want to answer is, can you catch quality on it? Most definitely when you're using hemp and tares, you are using tares and hemp to pick out the better quality fish than you would on maggot. So it will be interesting as we begin to feed the hemp and the session goes on, whether we do attract and catch a better quality of fish. There's a lot of small fish in here as well, but there are quality, and it'll be interesting to see whether this bait can pick them out. Initially, that is one thing that I have found. It's a 1 bite bait. You know, if you miss a bite, normally you've got to put another one on. But I'm getting plenty of indications it's definitely a bait that catches fish, or you can get bites on at least. You can see there, you know, the fish definitely see it as food. And we are only fishing with that hemp, so the hemp's the only bait that's gone in. And this does look like a better quality one. And isn't it weird now seeing planes go over all the way through lockdown? My house is kind of on a flight path and we didn't see any, and it was weird not to hear them, and now it's weird seeing them. It's mad, isn't it? So it is a bit of a pain with the pole cup, but I'm going to stick with it as long as I can muster. It is a pain, obviously. It's a lot easier to feed this swim via hand, but you can see there, plenty of bites, and that's another roach. And not bringing maggot was a conscious decision. You know, it's gone very well the start of this session, but I didn't have any idea how it would go. I didn't know whether I'd put the hemp in and have to sit and wait for the bite. You know, and when you got one, it could be a quality one. And I just didn't want that distraction of, you know, maybe using maggot if you're waiting, say, 10 minutes without a bite. As it's turned out, you know, obviously you can see on the video that we're getting plenty of bites. And I needn't have worried about the maggots because I wouldn't have used them anyway. There you go there. Feels a much better fish. Don't think it's a bream. But yeah, like I was saying, you don't really know how these sessions are going to go at the start. You know, when you're using a bait and you don't know what's going to happen. It could have come here and not got a bite at all. And I just didn't want that distraction of, you know, having maggot as an option. And I don't know what this is. I mean, I thought it was a roach, but there are carp in the venue. I don't know if it was a carp on £2.9. I think it would have it would have stabbed me by now, I think. But let's see if we can just get down to the top kit. And this was one of the things that I was worried about, like I said, you know, how selective it can be. You know, with tears, you're pretty much going to catch quality roach. Whereas this being a bit more of a pellet, you know, is it going to be susceptible to the fish like carp? And I guess ultimately we won't know until we're fishing a swim on a river where you know it's just going to be roach, whether it's going to pick out them quality. It certainly has picked out quality silvers so far on this vlog. Like, we've had that bream and now we've hooked into this, which I can only think again can be a bream. Try not to bully it. At the same time, I just want to see what it is. There are some nice bream in here, I do know that. One of the vlogs that I was hoping to make on here was a vlog where we just come for quality. So if that's something that you want to see on the channel, leave it in the comments below. You know, where we come on here on the pole or the float and just fish corn and see, you know, what we can catch. It's definitely wallowing. They're putting up a right fight. Just try and get it in. So I don't want to go too tight on the puller kit, because if it is a bream, you know, they have soft mouths and you can easily pull the hook. But just starting to tire. I guess it just shows that all fish are attracted by hemp. Hemp is one of them baits that, why I have so much confidence in it. You can see here this evening, that's the only bait that we've fed is hemp. And we've had roach, bream, and now we've had Mr. Carp. Not the target species that we were after when we started this vlog. You know, the roach were the target. But I think we knew when we caught Mr. Bream early on that the bait wasn't as selective as we thought it was going to be. Let's get this fish straight back. Let's get back out there and see if we can get another bite. But what a lovely fish that is. Let's get it straight back. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, as there is a bit of a glare on the water, but there's a couple of dark shapes beneath that float that have come onto the little sandbank we're sat on and are feeding on the spilt hemp that's come out of the pot when I've been feeding. It literally does show just how close in, you know, fish will feed. So I did notice it out of my corner eye after we landed that fish, and as you can see there, literally just shows how close in fish will come. You can see there just how close we're fishing in. And after we landed that last carp, I did notice that there was one or two dark shapes appearing, and just shows how close in fish will feed. Literally the end of the top kit. And I'm not going to make any predictions on this one. I think it's Mr. Bream, but I'm not making any predictions. And I think this is Mr. Bream, I think. We'll see if we can get him out and take a look, but he's literally swimming where we hooked him. And that's it, I retire. I do retire from guessing fish. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Bream. Most definitely the last time I predict a fish isn't playing it. And it was only, what, 4 foot from the bank when I saw it. Terrible, but great fun. And I guess shows why I've got such confidence in the bait that I'm feeding, that hemp. It's one of those baits that I've got ultimate confidence in. From roach to carp, everything likes hemp. moving over to that roach line for the last bit of it. That's a lovely roach, that. As I say, it's been a lovely evening. Only a short session, but great fun. So as you can see from the final net, we've had plenty of bites from those roach, and I do confess towards the end, the last half an hour, I did get sidetracked. I could see them carp or bream coming up underneath my feet, and I was trying for them, and unfortunately we did lose one to a hook pull. But that is the beauty of fishing, isn't it? You go out expecting to catch roach and you end up catching carp underneath your feet. So before I go, a bit of a talk about the bait, and definitely a bait that you can catch all manner of species on, like this short session has shown. Bream, roach, rudd, carp. It's going to catch you all manner of species. It did catch the roach and did well over the hemp. You know, it's a black bait, so I definitely think it does work in that regard. Like I said during this vlog, it is a soft bait, but I did know that going into it. What I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to use this bait when we go on the Ribble on a venue where there's only roach, and see then how it performs. Winter is a very different season altogether when it comes to the bites. In winter, them bites on the bollow really are direct, and I can see it being a bait that is worth carrying in the box. So keep an eye on the channel. In the months to come, we'll definitely be using it. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I want to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing. Thank you to everyone that supports the channel, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.